Annie's the music today. There we go.
We're off to a great start.
Off to an awesome start. Acapella theme.
I was so worried about feedback. I got behind. Oof. This is a tough show.
So tough.
I like that you have ears in front of your headphones and they're vibrating.
They're vibrating.
Headphones? I am.
They're vibrating.
You're like a rat in
Because
heat,
he's,
apparently.
yeah.
I'm a heat rat, Jeff.
Let me shut off my phone here. Everybody, this is Soundbooth Theater Live, and we are live.
Hi,
Thank
everybody.
you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Be sure to go get all your other friends who I know all of your friends are fans of the show as well. Get them, sit them on a couch, tape them down. You know, they need to
their
watch
eyes
this.
open.
Tape their eyes open.
Tape
We need to
their
do a
eyes
Clockwork
open.
Orange
All a
on these
Clockwork
motherfuckers.
Orange.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
We've
sir.
been watching a lot of horror
ma'am.
movies lately.
Same
I wouldn't mind being fed bites of food a la Clockwork Orange.
So, like, have your mouth taped open?
No, remember when he's like healing and then he's like being fed and he's like opens up his
what
mouth.
If it's not delicious?
Yeah, what if it's like squid paste?
So worried about it too.
Oh my god, squid paste. I don't know, maybe that's good.
Probably not. Probably
Someone
not.
in the comments is scared by Ahmed's face.
Yeah, yeah, you should be
Oh, I'm
scared.
sorry.
He's like,
I'm not
he's
trying
like,
to be scary. I'm just trying to be a friend.
Yeah,
like,
I was
he's
like,
a
Ahmed,
Pixar
what?
character on serious drugs.
I was like, Ahmed, what's this character? And he was like, it's a white man.
I'm a Midwestern white guy.
Midwestern.
Nice to meet you. I just finished college. I'm gonna get a job in the city.
Oh god, he looks so
I'm
worried.
gonna get a job in the city. I want an avatar. I want a dorky avatar.
We need. Okay, so anybody out there who knows anybody who does 3D modeling, 3D animation, please send them our way so that we can start making some of these like custom.
Also, donut, right? Weren't we supposed
Yeah,
to get
we want a donut.
Oh, we need
Like,
a donut.
One person emailed us, and
Okay.
then I answered them, and we're like, "Hey, we need this done," and no response. So I don't know. I don't know, like what we're supposed to do with that. But
Okay.
Anyway, thanks again, everybody, for coming to the show. This is the news section. But before we get started, I'm going to let you know what we have in store. We have another Pirates of New Fantasia by Sarah King. We have an episode of that to go through. We don't have anything from the polls. Is that right?
I mean, no, we don't, Jeff.
Okay, right. So right after we do our Pirates of New Fantasia segment, then we'll be doing some. We'll be going to the cinema, and we'll be talking about Family Plot, Alfred Hitchcock's very
boy.
last
Last
film.
film.
Oh, it sure was his
Are you gonna
last
do
one.
spoilers?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Why didn't you watch it?
This is
Annie.
not one you've
I
never...
didn't
watch them,
because I don't
Annie.
like read the directions.
You don't...
Oh,
you don't-
also, she's not in my Plex library. I need to give you access to my Plex library,
Oh,
Annie.
I saw it
You will
on
have
her
all
Plex
the.
library.
Wait a minute. No, never mind. No such thing as Plex. Pirating is wrong. Okay.
I'm gonna.
Who says anything about pirating?
God.
I used to be a
Idiot.
pirate when I was
I have
young.
digital
So
copies.
right after that, then we're doing the chat. What is it called? Chat GPL.
GPT.
GPT.
It's
I
not
love
gonna
Jeff.
happen
Jeff, I
because-
love that you don't know what this is and I do. I don't know what universe this is.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
but
amazing.
Chat GPT.
The first time I ever saw it was last time.
ChatGPT's a
So-
big shot now and doesn't have time for us
I
anymore.
I was just
Oh.
introduced to it a few weeks
Breaking
ago.
the internet.
Couple
Well-
months ago.
I'll have to do the same thing I did at the on the last review you guys did. I'm pretty sure that I had to take my headphones off.
Just hide behind that doll right next to you
Okay.
while we're talking about
I'll
it, and
just
you won't hear
crawl
anything.
right on behind her.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So that's our show for today. That's what's ahead. But before we
Bye,
get to any of
guys.
that,
Oh,
let's
I see.
do the news. So first bit of news, and the reason that we're doing this particular movie as the cinema segment is because tomorrow, Seance High Falls episode 7 will be released. That is the second to last episode, so this series is almost over. The conclusion is coming up. I'm pretty stoked to find out what happens to Lena and to Oliver and to Kitty and the two ghost gentlemen that follow them around. It's all culminating. So please, guys, if you haven't checked it out already, first episode's free. Go check it out now. Go pick it up.
So
It's I think
scary.
the first episode's 45 minutes, right? 50 something minutes, and then each one's 30, somewhere between 30 and 50 minutes. And each episode's just $1.99. So if you like episode 1, you can binge the rest. We got 2 left after tomorrow, or after today. Today we have 2 left. Tomorrow we'll have 1 left. I'm confusing myself with numbers.
There's a couple of episodes left, one of which is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, college grad, for straightening that out for me. Really appreciate it.
I was a lit major.
Yeah, you were.
Okay,
Your face.
you look like you're gonna cry. Okay,
You can't touch
so
your face when you're like this because your makeup will come right off.
Oh, Ahmed's normal face is back.
yeah, yay.
Look at
Oh, we missed your beautiful
compliment.
face, Ahmed.
Oh,
It's
thank
so
you.
much
Thank you,
better than
dear.
the other face.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, you don't like this game?
He's sweet, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
All right.
let's see. I was looking up family plot stuff.
Family plot. All right,
Oh, boy.
let's get some looping trailer action going.
I've
You have a
decided
pretty-
I'm just going to stick around for it, and
Okay.
it's okay. I'll watch it. I'll still watch it. It'll still be good.
Okay, so I have more specific problems with this movie than any of the others,
Okay.
and I like it better than all the others.
Oh, that surprises me. When I watched it, I thought Jeff is going to hate it. Ahmed won't like it because he hasn't liked hardly anything we've talked about so far. So curious to hear what you think. Then let us know.
Let us go on.
Oh. Did you guys notice his cameo
Did you do that on
in there?
purpose?
No.
You didn't do that on purpose? That was perfect. Okay.
Did you guys
Does
catch
go
his
on.
cameo in there? He always has a cameo. In
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That was
nice.
that was actually cool to like throw back to that whole idea. You know, like
Yeah.
it was nice to see it done in a
Just real
yeah.
quick silhouette.
So I think this movie was supposed to be a comedy,
It was comedic,
It was
more
supposed to be-
lighthearted than the book it was based
but
on.
I think that was the problem with it, right? Because I don't know that he does comedy. As have you ever seen Alfred Hitchcock do comedy before this?
No. I haven't.
So it was very clunky as a
Find him,
comedy.
and I'll pay you $10,000.
That's Madame Blanche, a medium.
Oh, they're even
Being
playing
a
his
master
Alfred Hitchcock.
spiritualist myself.
Okay, we
So he
probably
does the wordplay stuff, and you know.
Yeah.
But the trailer, it
Can you
I
just
think
keep it looping and mute it?
and make him shut up.
I can assure you
There we go.
Like a
There we go.
The word loop. Is there.
Yeah. So, I think it was meant to be a comedy.
It's a comedy sort of, thriller or whatever. It's like it's it's like a black comedy.
Yeah, I think so. But not that black. It's actually just. I mean, I guess I don't know. It really didn't feel very dark to me.
69mega.com totally heard Gary say Ron Jeremy, and it's
Oh,
like,
geez.
super excited.
Oh
for
my
us all to
gosh.
come
Wait, they got
find
us
a
last
girl.
time.
Yeah.
Put you
I'm
on
trying to-
timeout block user.
I blocked it.
Mm.
So, I think my favorite character was Barbara Harris's character, even
Blanche?
though she was also my least favorite character at the same time.
Wait, which
Really?
one? Which one?
Yeah,
She was your least favorite?
and favorite.
That's so
Her?
okay,
Wait,
explain
who?
this to
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Okay,
She's
because
the one that was the medium.
the medium,
medium.
right? So
Oh,
the reason,
the
first of
star.
all, the reason why we're doing this movie is because it does involve a medium, a
Seance.
fraudulent medium, and that's
Yes.
very clear from the get-go that she's a fraud. Yeah, she's really, really ditzy, but also somehow very, very adept at what she does. Like she's got this whole acting routine. She does voices. She's very, very eccentric. But also a complete moron. Maybe the dumbest character I've ever seen in any movie. Like I don't know, to the point of a little bit of inconsistency, but why I say that she's my favorite is because it's just fascinating. I think, and why I like this movie so much is because it's fascinating, and I can see its influence on the rest of cinema. So yeah, go, Ahmed, you want to take this?
Yeah, so the music was it had this like kind of Victorian like harpsichord music, like it was trying to be quirky, right? Like the movie was a quirky movie, like that's what you're gonna get, but that's not. I didn't feel like that's what happened on screen. Like so I always like look at the soundtrack as a part of the part of the way the music.
Did you see who composed it?
No, I didn't. Who?
It wasn't it John
John Williams.
No kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, John
I guess I'm
Williams.
not
I noticed
surprised.
that, and I was like, "Oh, really? That John Williams? Okay."
Yeah,
I guess I'm
I
not
was very
surprised.
surprised. It didn't remind me of John Williams at all. Like
no,
the
but
style. It seemed very much orthodox for the time.
Yes, exactly. It was very like it was trying to be quirky. Like the whole movie was just trying to be funny and quirky, but I don't think it did either of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
I felt like it was like I had a feeling it was his last movie because I was watching. I was like, ugh, this is.
I
gotta be
told
his
you it
last
was his
one.
last movie. I told
No,
you.
I
it
know,
was his last
agreed.
movie.
But I mean, I forgot, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh, this one's oof. This has got to be his last one.
Okay. Keep talking shit. I want to hear more about. What you didn't like.
Yeah, I thought her character was absolutely ridiculous. Barbara Harris was absolutely ridiculous.
She was supposed to be.
The whole goofy. Oh, so there's a point. There's always a point. I feel like, and it was halfway. I remember it was that damn breaks out scene.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's what it just like. If it
that
hadn't
scene was
already
terrible.
lost me, if
I
it hadn't
wrote
already
it.
lost
I
me,
wrote it.
it
Break
lost me
scene.
after that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was terrible because she was doing stuff that was just like, what the
Her
hell is
feet
wrong
were in
with
his
you?
face.
Like she's putting her feet all on him, and
Because
she's
she was
pulling on him, and
trying
he's
to be funny.
yeah,
right?
but that
She
wasn't
was
funny
like,
to
oh,
me.
this
I'm
is
like,
gonna be hilarious.
you
Like,
idiot.
it wasn't funny. Like I didn't find it funny. You're
Yeah,
supposed to
I
be
didn't find that
dying.
funny either.
It was such a weird juxtaposition of
Yeah.
like Alfred Hitchcock's style, because that would have been like a bird's like, like the whole time, like, oh my god, like it's gonna eat his eyes. But it was this other thing, and it was weird.
It was
really
bizarre.
weird.
Yeah,
and
I
they
did
went
not.
up on the,
Definitely.
and then in the end, they ended the car. They did like a half flip of the car. It
Yeah.
just kind of like, and it was like, and that was supposed to be the crash. Right?
Yeah.
So it was like very under budget, and they both just climbed out. And then they're walking on the road, and they run into the guy that's trying to kill them.
Yeah.
And they totally have this very civil conversation. It was just very, it was downhill after that for me. And then it was just a very convoluted and bizarre story. I feel
Yeah.
like William Devane was my favorite part.
Oh, he
but
was
not necessarily.
Oh
He
my
was
gosh.
such a ham, but he was my favorite
Oh,
part,
right,
but
with the
for not
teeth?
necessarily the good reasons.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
his
very good.
face, yeah, but he's a good actor, and he's playing this serious role. I'm a serious criminal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but it felt so dated that
Yeah.
I wasn't convinced that he was a serious criminal.
I mean, all of these things that you're, complaining about are things that just absolutely kept me enraptured.
That's so funny.
I was like, what?
You know, but that he actually wasn't originally. They had started filming with another actor, so he was Hitchcock's first choice, but he wasn't available at the time. So then they started it with another actor, and then when he became available, what's his name? Yeah, William Devane. When he became available, they fired the other guy, put William Devane in, but then later, after it was done, Hitchcock felt like he made a mistake. He should have kept the other guy. Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting because I couldn't find a flaw in his performance.
I thought he did fine.
Like, what he was supposed to
He
be
was
doing.
just gross, like his teeth. I'm just like, and I know
Yeah,
exactly who
his
he
teeth
is.
were very prominent somehow.
Yeah, they were very, and I've seen him in so many other things, and that's the way his. But it's like in this movie, it was like they were on full display, and I was getting tired of seeing his teeth. Just like, please close your mouth.
I was
it
just
credits
completely
him as
fascinated.
Arthur Adamson, but we know that he's not Arthur Adamson. You think they did that because, like, to keep the secret of the
maybe
of
Probably.
the 50-year-old movie?
Yeah.
Well, because that was his name in there. But
Yeah. Well, that was his new name because he was like he got away from his life.
right.
Oh, and remember the way they get Ed Lauder and Ed Lauder, and that they killed him. They set his parents on fire with gasoline. Like, wait, what? Like, really? That's what you guys got into together? It didn't even. They were supposed to be these awful people.
I think he had him kill his parents, right?
Yeah. That's what
right.
happened.
They did it together, right? But it was like they recalled it like an old memory, like of like
that
was
was
our first job was killing your
exposition,
parents.
Yeah,
That was
but
the way
why?
it's going.
Very like.
Why? Why though? Like, why though?
I think it had.
There was no.
But at the time,
it was
he didn't have the
unclear
money.
why he wanted
At the
his
time,
parents
he
dead.
didn't have the
Because that's so
inheritance.
bad.
But then he finds out he's the inheritor. Like he was like, what? Like
Was it not an inherit? Well, those were his adoptive parents.
right, but it was turned out that the Julia Rainbird, she was looking for him. That's how
Right.
they got the psychic got mixed up into
Right,
it.
and he only briefly knew that he was this inheritor before or the person who was going to get all this money before the movie was done. It was like he only just found out right before the movie ended. So
Right,
that part
right.
really didn't go to a lot of places because then they ended up capturing Blanche.
Yeah, almost immediately.
So what other movies has Barbara Harris been in?
She, I looked her up because I actually thought she was adorable in here,
Yeah,
even though she
I
was
loved-
crazy.
I
I
loved
thought
her.
she was so cute. You know what? She was like 40 in this movie. She looked like she was in her early 30s. Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's been in stuff that I know I've seen. What was her name? Barbara Harris?
Yeah, I loved her as a performer. It was the writing of the character that was batshit crazy.
She was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels,
Oh, that's
which
a
I
good
have
one.
seen. She was in the original Freaky Friday, which I did see a long time ago, but I don't. She was in Peggy Sue Got Married. She was in
Oh.
Gross Point Blank.
Wow,
Oh.
good career.
Yeah, definitely. So I have definitely seen her, but this was the first movie where I kind of noticed her as an actor.
Yeah, I don't think
she
I've
was one
seen
of her
any
first
of these
movies.
movies. So
You should watch Dirty Rotten Scoundrels for sure.
So there were some things that annoy. Okay, this is not my favorite Hitchcock movie,
I hope not.
but I didn't hate it, but I just didn't feel like it measured up to some of the others of his that I've seen.
Yeah.
So the character, like you said, of Blanche, she goes to try to ask about this guy she's looking for, and then she says. She goes to this place and then I think it was where he worked, right? It was the jewelry place. And she was asking like, what was his appearance? Like, was he in his 40s or something? But then
Yeah, and
later
then-
she
and then she says,
says,
"Oh, we're
they're
friends."
They're friends, right? I was like, wait, what is
exactly.
that? What?
Like the writing, to me, the writing is how this movie fails. Right?
Yeah, but
the writing
because
is
some of the stuff
terrible.
didn't make any sense. Another thing
Right.
that, in
And
addition
then
to the break
and
scene,
that woman, she just gave him the address. Oh yes, he lives at.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that.
know him,
Okay,
even though
well.
I had to tell you what he looks like.
right? Yeah, that was dumb. And then, so in addition to the idiocy of the break scene, which that was just really, really stupid. The
Dude,
scene,
she grabbed his tie.
I know.
She grabbed it, and she's like trying to like I don't know what
Yeah.
she's trying to do.
Yeah, it
was
was
so
supposed to be
dumb.
slapstick, and it just.
And
ugh.
she was like climbing in the back and then climbing
Yeah.
in the front. And
It
like,
would have been funny if it was like a Jerry Lewis movie, and
Yeah.
the whole thing was a
An
comedy.
Alfred Hitchcock movie, and it was that was stupid. But
and
another
he's
thing,
just like, oh no!
Yeah, it's like, would you cut it out? I'll give you sex later, okay? That was another running thing in the movie that she's
oh, you know that scene,
super horny.
that
He's like,
scene
oh,
where he,
stop it.
when he's trying to leave and she's like wanting him to come back, because she wants them to
Yes.
get it on, and he's like, he said something like, "I'm too poop to pop."
I'm too pooped to
There-
pop.
I
There's
was-
a lot of colloquialisms
I was,
that were
I
like,
was watching a video, like this guy was talking about how that actually he was surprised that got past the censors because something
Yeah.
reference to that shouldn't have really made it onto primetime TV when it came
Really?
out.
That's
there's
interesting.
a lot of fast, very fast, like sexual jokes, but they didn't visually show anything, so the conversation kind of gets away, right? Like, but they were implying a lot of goofy stuff.
Another
for
thing
sure.
that was stupid was when the character of Karen Black, when she sees that the priest's robes are
Oh my
partially
god,
hanging,
that was
what?
the worst
She
part of the
opened
movie.
the door to what? That was so stupid. All she had to do was just like stand in front of it and block it from view.
Or not
No,
even. What is
or
the
not even
point
do
of,
anything.
Like, yeah, not do anything.
was-
What?
that was
Okay, so
dumb.
what? So what if she sees the red cloth?
Yeah, no, it's not like there was blood dripping out or anything.
Right, she's not gonna be like, oh my god, you have red cloth coming out of your car.
yeah, that was
something
stupid.
suspicious is going on.
Yeah,
That
the
was
red
stupid.
cloth was. Yeah,
And
that
then
was
I don't
really
understand
stupid.
why did they kidnap the priest? I know it was to get another diamond, but
No,
that
it was the
happened to be
second. It was they were just working, and that was their
Yeah,
second
but-
ransom.
that made it look like I thought they came in there to get him because he knew about the guy's past.
That's why I was in complete confused.
Yeah, I was
disbelief.
confused
by
about
that
that
point of the
too.
movie. That right there was like, what just happened?
Yeah,
and I just
and-
laughed it off. I
that.
was like, this is the goofiest.
Because that's why
exchange.
Bruce Dern
The
came
writing
there,
just fell
was
right
to
off
talk
the.
to him.
So he was going there. Yeah, Bruce Dern was going there to
talk to the
corner him
priest.
and talk to him about figure out where the kid is because he's the one person he like baptized him, right?
Yeah.
And then he happens to be the person that
That's kidnapping him to hold him for ransom for
to get
the diamond.
Yeah,
the
it's
diamond.
So
Yeah, that,
okay,
that,
so-
that made
that
no
was-
sense. I wrote that. I wrote that down too. Like, why kidnap
Oh,
the priest
also-
and I was really confused.
The only reason she knew where the diamond was, she was faking. Oh,
Yeah,
Black Jedi
because she
psychic."
heard them.
Because she overheard them.
Yeah,
Yeah, did you know
But
that
was
line-
So...
Did you know that line was put in after filming?
Oh, it sounded because the shot was the chandelier in the room with the doorway, and they were talking out of frame. So you
Yeah,
know
that
when
was
they're doing
added
that
in.
stuff, it's
Yeah.
added in because
Yeah.
there was no her going, and that's what was confusing. There was no shot of her going, oh, I hear the plot and making a face like she acknowledged it, right? And that
Right.
never happened. So it was
Right.
like, so I had to think back on it.
Yeah,
And it was
I-
it was a cheap like mystery victory. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if a person figures that last thing out, that they might feel like they're validated that they figured out something. You know, like
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense. That was
No,
not.
it made no sense. It made no
It was just
sense
a
for
way
her
that-
to like go.
Well, that
looking
she
for
would
this
know
guy on her
exactly where
own.
it was in the chandelier too, though.
Yeah, but like
All she knew was that it was there. She didn't know exactly where it was.
No,
the
right. They
difference
didn't
between a
mention tape or
diamond
anything
and
else.
glass, though, or crystal, is pretty. It's pretty
Yeah,
clear.
I mean
pretty
it's fine.
easy
She
to
could have
tell,
guessed, but still, the whole thing was
like,
suspect.
the whole thing was dumb. So my conclusion is the directing is awesome. I
Yes.
really liked the pacing. I loved the camera work. I loved the choices of shots. One of my favorite shots was like, I mean, it was not very important, right? But it was right. Somehow, Maloney's funeral happened like 5 minutes after they pulled him out of the car, I guess.
That was funny.
And
that's when he runs
his
into
wife's
Miss
there,
Maloney.
right?
Oh
Yeah,
god, that
and,
was
uh,
awful.
when he was
Yeah,
following her.
and
Yeah.
George.
Oh, that was
right.
with the square.
That
Yeah,
one
was-
shot, like
I like that
just
shot.
kind of follows them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As she's trying to avoid him.
Once again,
And-
clever Alfred Hitchcock stuff, but without like all the weight visually, but none of the
Yeah.
actual weight plot story.
Who wrote it? Did Alfred Hitchcock write it too?
No, it was actually based on a book. I don't remember the name of the book. I think it has something like Rainbird in it.
The
but
novel The Rainbird Pattern.
Yeah, that. I'm curious to find it and see if there's an audiobook version of it because I would like to listen to it. And I heard the book is much darker.
Okay.
So for
see
whatever
that.
reason, Hitchcock took it and decided to try to lighten it up. It was much more lighthearted.
I don't know. Maybe he wasn't selling movies very well.
I mean,
anymore.
I
Maybe
really
he
was
doing
waiting
bad at
for
the
it to
box
get
office.
super dark, but
It never does. It's all very silly.
Yeah, it is.
There's a point that it seems like it might, and then it doesn't. It's like towards the end when they capture her, and then the guy's walking around the house, which incredulously, like they knock over a paint can. That all those little details were so like amateur. Like it was. He saw the paint and he's like, oh, and then he gets inside and then he sees her purse and there's blood on it and the blood looks fake as hell.
Dude,
When
that
he
was
sees
the
the blood,
worst
and
looking
he's like,
blood I've ever seen.
blood?
It was like nail polish.
Awful, yes, it was awful.
And then he goes through every room calling out for her. I just, it's like it's right there. Like I can't.
But I would recommend this movie over any of the other movies we've reviewed.
Really,
it's so
even more
bizarre.
than The Gift. I would.
Even more than The Gift.
I guess
because the gift to me, like the writing isn't bad. It's just
Passable.
fine, right?
Okay.
And the execution of the direction, to me, is like, well, this is really interesting to see Sam Raimi doing a normal movie, right? But I'm not learning anything from it. You know, nothing really surprising happens. If I had never seen that movie, I would not have noticed, right? Like there's not, even though it's good, it's technically executed really well. All the performers are good. It's a show that did not really leave an impression on me. Whereas this one, it's like, to me, it's like an academic study.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
To me, it feels historically significant, especially because I think that the entire movie reminds me of the Coen brothers, the way they direct, the way they hold their pacing, the shots, the shots of the characters, the brand of comedy, the awkward, like, just like, now it's like the Coen brothers took that weird unbelievability and pulled it in just enough to make it like just believable, right? The weirdness of the Coen brothers characters are just inside the realm of believability, but it feels like the same style that they're going for, like just these characters with these really pronounced quirks that make them stand out. Like the pipe, for instance, George's pipe. How he
I thought that was just part of his cover, but no, he
fucking with it.
No,
was
but he
Like,
never lit
constantly.
it, and I couldn't. It was driving me crazy.
maybe he was.
He would
maybe
dump it
he-
out.
You'd see him with a match, but there was a point where he was about to light it, and then he never got to. He spent the whole movie
I
with it in
never
his mouth.
noticed that.
He never smoked it, and it was driving me nuts. That was one of the
I
other
wanted to
things
see
that was
him light
making
the
me
match.
crazy. Because he kept like he was gonna, but he never actually does.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
weird.
that was like a running gag in the film.
Yeah, it was supposed to be funny, I think, and I never, because they made
Yeah, it
fun
drove
of
me
him. The
nuts.
guy with the
It drove me
pipe,
nuts.
the lawyer with the pipe. I thought he's a lawyer. It's like,
Simon mentioned something that I don't think I had heard of. He said, if he remembers correctly, Tarantino hates Hitchcock. He thinks he's a hack. I haven't heard
I
that
believe
before.
it. I believe it.
Why?
I
Why?
believe it too, but I don't believe that Hitchcock is a hack. I believe
don't-
that Tarantino believes that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
believe
that
that's the
doesn't
truth at all.
surprise me, but I guess I would have to see what he's talking about because I don't know where he's coming from with this. I have liked all of Hitchcock's films that I've seen.
I don't
Yes, me
necessarily.
too.
And I think I think they're very clever. he's always a really solid. Like I've even gone back and watched, I think, the 39 Steps he directed, and I didn't think I would like it because it's old, very very old, like 1930s, and I'm not crazy about black and white, but that was actually a really interesting story, and also Psycho too.
Yeah.
Very well done. I've seen Frenzy, which was a movie that I think he went back to the UK and filmed Frenzy, and that one was dark. It was about I guess a serial killer or something, and he showed a bit more and there than he did, obviously, like let's say in a movie like Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Tarantino probably just doesn't like Hitchcock because he didn't have pretty feet.
That's got to be it.
That's got to be it.
You figured it out, Manny.
Also, I think that Tarantino is probably coming from the same place that a lot of people do when they watch any. Well, I mean, I don't mean to put
older
older movies, but I don't. That's probably not correct.
But I think
that Tarantino sees him as a hack because of what the film is in a vacuum. But to me, it's clear that he was innovating.
Oh, yeah.
Even though his stuff was cheesy.
You think it would be clear to Tarantino that, like, you think something like that would be, like, film 101 kind of.
You would think.
I need to find this thing. Simon, if you find this, please
I'd love to
pass it along to me,
so
because I'm really curious.
There was one other Alfred Hitchcock, like, kind of, like, stylish note thing that happened was when they're in the garage and she's freaking out and she's trying to get away, and then William Devane grabs her, and then they have this like altercation for a second, and then it's a lot of these like flash shots. It's like it was very him, of like her feet off the ground, and then she's like, and she's grabbing in the struggle, and then the shot, which created all this blood for some reason, which is hilarious. But he gave her the shot. And the shot was
struggling, and you like
that. It was an Alfred Hitchcock style struggle, and
visually,
like the way it was like bouncing and the camera was moving about.
Yeah, I hated that part because of the slap. The slap was like,
it
was like
when he slapped her, it slapped her to the ground, right?
Stupid.
That was awful. That was awful.
It's made me flinch, not out of like pain, but like out of what was that? You couldn't have done a better slap than that? Like, figure out how to make it look like a real slap? What the fuck?
They were just making a movie. They were just making a movie.
Simon also said,
I don't know that
people discover... Oh, wait. He said...
He talks about the 1950s. It's a quote, I guess, from Tarantino, but
okay. The 1950s held him down. Hitchcock couldn't do what he, left to his own devices, would have wanted to do. By the time he could do it in the late 60s and the early 70s, he was a little too old. People discover North by Northwest at 22 and think it's wonderful, when actually it's a very mediocre movie.
I love that movie. I've always loved that movie.
I've always felt that Hitchcock's acolytes took his cinematic and story ideas further. I love Brian De Palma's Hitchcock movies. I love Richard Franklin's and Curtis Hanson's Hitchcock meditations. I prefer those to actual Hitchcock. I mean, like, to me, that just sounds like... Okay, just because he doesn't like the movies doesn't make him a hack, though. I mean, I probably would find all sorts of other reasons to not like Hitchcock movies, but
he feels
again,
like
he's OG. It's like, this is history.
But I guess he feels like his complaint is that because of the time that Hitchcock came along, he was inhibited or he was constrained by stuff. But I don't feel that made him any less of a filmmaker, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, remember also Alfred Hitchcock had a TV show, right?
Yeah,
and that was huge. Like he did that for a very long time, and that I think maybe it's like a conglomerate of like all of that feel and style within, like, beyond just the movies. Like he's Anyway,
Simon also said, although looking for a quote, I found that Ennio Morricone, I don't know if I pronounced that.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Morricone.
Says Quentin Tarantino is a cretin and claims he just steals from others and puts it together again.
Well,
he did the Ecstasy of Gold, which is...
I've heard that criticism before, but I think that's what makes him awesome. I don't know. It's like DJs. It's like people making remixes and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, like
Yeah, I feel like he's inspired. He is inspired by certain filmmakers or certain whatever, and then he just takes it and puts his own twist on it. Because Tarantino has a very unique style too.
right.
So
Yeah, but I think it's just funny that's like the pot calling the kettle black. They're all filmmakers and they're all borrowing from other artists.
I hope that if he said Hitchcock is a hack, that he walked it back a little bit. I think he's got self-awareness enough to know that's not really true.
what?
I think
No,
he just
I don't
likes
believe
to be
this. I'm sorry.
controversial.
I'm responding to something that he says from a video interview. He thinks Hitchcock movies just peter out.
Yeah, I love that. I love that
Exactly.
quote, Simon. Good artists borrow.
Great artists steal.
Yeah. So, all right. Final score for this movie. Highly recommend it. I give it a 4 out of 10.
I was going to give it a 4, but now I want to give it a 3 because you gave it a 4.
Oh well, I would give it a 7. I would give it a 6.5. No, I would give it a. This is tough.
It's the lowest score I've given, and also the most recommended.
This makes no sense, Jeff. To me,
Makes no sense, Jeff.
I don't understand that logic.
Again, it's like from an academic point of view.
Oh, okay. You're just coming at it from
because I'm
academic point of view.
fascinated.
It was fascinating to watch the filmography and to watch the.
Oh, you know a scene with her where she's in the kitchen. She's like talking with this lady, and then she goes in the kitchen to talk to him, and then she like would blare out these.
Yes, that part was hilarious.
I thought it was funny.
But it's also like, but why didn't the lady follow her?
Exactly.
You would think that if she's in this,
that was the
in
thought
this
I kept
fever
having.
state,
She's gonna get caught. They're
like
taking
why?
too long.
Like why would the lady just kind of like, and just sit in her chair and listen to her babble on in the kitchen? Like
Oh my gosh.
I would, if I were her, I would follow and be.
It was kind of a trope. It was a trope. It was a joke that was. A lot of the jokes in it were tropes. That was a trope from like Three's Company or something. Or rather, they used it in Three's Company because Three's Company's after this, I guess, or around this, where like Jack could be in the other room and oh wait a minute, nobody's here.
Yeah,
I'm just cooking. And
with
it
the
was,
kitchen
they were
door.
that was it right there. That was the scene. And yeah, it was like and the other person they show him in the other room like confused, like I don't know what's happening. What's going on in there? Meanwhile, they're in there with somebody else, like stuffing them in the oven. It's like, that's what I mean. I felt like it was trying to be that moment, but it was like not the best version of that moment.
Bad movie. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff.
All right. Cool. All right.
Oh, there goes the garage door.
Let's get some. Oh, this part, that fucking part.
Yeah.
Why?
That was so stupid.
It's a red cloth poking out of your
That
car.
was so
No one
dumb.
cares.
Open
No
the
one
door.
That made
even
no
blink
sense.
at that.
I
there's
wonder
red.
if the book is makes more logical sense. I'm just really curious to compare.
I bet it does. I bet whoever they had do the screenplay were absolute stooges, and Alfred Hitchcock was like, I mean, all right. Let's do this. Fuck it.
I don't know who did the screenplay.
It named a couple guys.
Oh, okay.
I've never,
Okay.
I didn't recognize their names. Okay, so thank you for that suggestion, Sin. I really enjoyed that terrible movie.
Yeah. I did. No, I've been quite enjoying doing my homework for this stuff. Like,
Good. I'm glad you have at
quite
least.
We've been watching them together and talking about with June and talking about them and going over like the highlights. So it was very good.
Which directors would you like to see remade completely? Oh, none. I don't like the Muppets.
I absolutely adore the Muppets.
I know.
It's some of my
filmography.
favorite
Yeah, I don't like
shit.
them.
I love the Muppets.
Oh my!
We need to like get the Muppets out there into the world so all the children know about them.
We need to reboot the
need to
Muppets.
reboot the
Soundbooth Theater would be the best company to
There
reboot
you go.
the Muppets.
Maybe you've stumbled onto
100%.
something, Jeff.
A Muppet audiobook. Muppet
That doesn't make sense. We need
audio
the
drama.
puppets. We need the puppets for it. Okay, so oh my God, Simon Smith said Lars von Trier redone with the Muppets would be. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Breaking the waves would be so fucking uncomfortable.
Everything that man makes is uncomfortable.
Yeah, but there's so much sex, like that's already uncomfortable.
I mean,
like sex stuff and breaking the waves.
So let's figure out what we're watching next time.
Okay,
we already know.
Should it be the
The
orphanage?
stuff.
Oh,
The
yeah,
stuff.
that's right. The stuff.
That's
Shoot,
right,
I
the
forgot.
Stuff.
Stop.
I've got
I forgot. Okay, but
plan.
wait a second. That's for to promo what? I
That's
forgot.
for Stain.
Stain, which we were presuming was
So
gonna be
maybe
out
that'll have to
before-
be the second one that month.
Okay, because
okay.
so we have another seance coming out in a couple weeks. Now there were 3
Terminator
seance
2 with Muppets, yes, please.
Oh, what's the third one?
The third one was the orphanage.
The orphanage.
That's
Okay.
a Spanish language one, but it has those were like 3 that I had recommended. We went through the
We
the
did.
gift, then we
Yeah,
saw
let me pull
Family
this
Plot,
up
and
now.
then there's the orphanage.
Can we do that IMDb thing one more time?
The orphanage. You said it was Spanish, right?
Yeah, it's in Espanol.
El orfanaggio.
But you can just look for it by the orphanage. It's supposed to be really,
I'll
really
pull it
good,
up, I'll
very
pull it up, I
dark, I
promise.
think. And I only found it because it has something to do with
Darko.
seances and ghosts, I guess, and whatever.
That actress looks familiar. Oh, this is Del Toro? Oh, no, it's a
no.
production. He produced.
Presenta.
Yeah.
Or
I used to get this one mixed up a lot of times
Oh, so this can't be
with
that
The
old.
Devil's Backbone.
Yeah, how old is it? 7.4, okay.
2007, she said it actually.
2007, all right. I'm down for this for next time. If you
I've never
guys are.
seen this one, so this is going to be, just like I'd never seen Family Plot either.
She's got some tatas on her. Okay. Ahmed, you down for this one?
Yep. I love potatoes.
Annie,
Potatoes.
I don't know if Annie has her headphones on or off.
I've got them on.
Oh, I was
Did
just
you-
going to
did you see
ask
her
if you
tatas?
wanted to participate in the discussion about this.
The orphanage. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Okay, I haven't.
Foreign.
Yeah,
I like it already.
Spanish.
Foreign films are generally better.
So many of them are very good. Yes,
Yeah.
especially
Terminator
ones
2
from.
with Muppets.
Now you know what no.
No?
What's eating Gilbert Grape with Muppets?
Okay. All right. The Orphanage next time.
Awesome.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
Look forward to it.
Okay, cool. The key is to make sure that it's unstable.
It's gotta be unstable.
It's got some gravel to it. You gotta always
motor.
your voice has to crack.
What are we doing, Bob?
Crack.
Now, Kermit.
That's a key.
I think the show's over, guys.
I forgot to be Miss Piggy. How could I forget
be
her?
Careful. Here comes the logo. Oh no!
This is miserable.
Oh
This is like her personal worst nightmare.
I was like, gonna go get my Terminator poster.
It's okay, Sid. What's wrong?
I need my
Elmo, kiss it better.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you all had fun. This is the end of our show for tonight.